I've completed all 4 of the season awards drop programs, and that means I can complete this season 1 awards special collection and unlock 95 Lightning Bobby Witt Jr, our first Lightning Bobby Witt of the year. I'm interested to see how y'all feel about this card down in the comments section. Who you think maybe should have gotten the Lightning card instead of Bobby Witt Jr. Who you're hoping to see for the second Lightning player after drop 8. And I think this is going to be my first gameplay this year where I'm debuting a card the same day that it released. So if this is something you maybe want to see more of, definitely let me know by dropping a like. And if y'all enjoy the videos, maybe consider subscribing. We daily upload on the channel. June 1st is going to be 7 years of daily uploading in a row. I've got him as my leadoff hitter today, trying to have as many ABs as possible. Home team, so we're pitching first. And I don't want to say already that his swing feels bad, but there was a moment where you had to hit a homer with Bobby Witt, and I had multiple perfect flyouts to the warning track. Just a lot of lazy fly balls on good swings. His swing just in that moment felt like it didn't have any pop. So we're here, ranked seasons, leadoff hitter, Kauffman Stadium, hoping to have a great debut with Lightning Bobby Witt Jr. And I love those jerseys. That's a great start from Pedro. 1 batter, 1 strikeout. And my perfect game's gone. I just walked Christian Yelich. I think every pitch had a perfect release, and I just wasn't quite hitting my spots. They were going a little bit out of the zone. No hitter, still intact after 1. Bobby Witt's leading us off after a great first inning from Pedro Martinez. Let's see how this first at-bat goes with Lightning Bobby Witt Jr. We can see his attributes here. He's a little bit better in terms of contact versus righties, 113 compared to 90, and then only 84 power versus righties compared to 96 versus lefties. So you gain and give a little bit whether you're facing a righty or a lefty. And then he's got 99 speed, 97 stealing with some pretty good fielding at short and a third base primary. And he only has 1 quirk, and it's one of my favorites. The PCI gets bigger when you have 2 strikes, and that's always super helpful. And I just got finished playing the CPU on rookie, so we're gonna see how Hall of Fame ranked seasons goes. And we have a full count to Bobby Witt in his first AB. Babe Ruth is on deck. And that might have been ball 4, 99 speeds, still not going to beat it out. 0 for 1 starts. That was a great pitch on a 3-2 count. But Babe gets the first hit of the game for us. I wish it would have been Bobby. Don't be a double play. Mike Trout hits into a double play. We're tied at 0 after 1. Got Josh Bell swinging to start the second. And Pedro might be kind of nasty. That circle change is disgusting. 3-2 to Candelario. 2 outs in the inning. And 2 pretty solid innings from Pedro. We're just trying to get Bobby Witt as many ABs, but just trying to do as good as we can at the plate today. Coming up to bat for the 2nd time now. And that's strike 3 to Candelario. Full count, and I watched strike 3. I'm glad we didn't do that with Bobby, but both of them are 0 for 1 today. Ronald with a good swing. We get our second base hit. Let's try to drive him in, be the first one to score. I decided to do a hit and run, and I think it worked out perfectly. That's beautiful from Christian Yelich. Runners on the corners. As long as we don't ground into a double play, this could be a good inning. Mookie Betts is supercharged. You show me Justin Turner doing that one time in real life. Nah, he would never, ever. Oh, and that pitch got away from Pedro there. Almost hit him in the head. At least we got a little bit of revenge on Justin Turner. And at least Pedro's dealing. We're not the only ones that haven't put up a run yet. And there we go. 3 great innings from Pedro. I think Bobby Witt should be coming up for us in the bottom of the 3rd. Maybe due up 3rd. And Mike Piazza. As long as we can have good swings, we should get some runs eventually. Maybe Bobby Witt could drive in our first runs. Maybe get our first homer of the game. It's my 9-hitter, Freddie Freeman, with Bobby Witt Jr. on deck. And Sandy Alcantara has been dotting up these corners so far. And it's not a double play from Freddie. So Witt Jr. is going to have a base runner on for his second at-bat. And Bobby goes yard! A no-doubter in his debut. Hey, if y'all have made it this far in the video, let me know by dropping a like. We're going to watch that no-doubt animation together. You best believe his first homer is getting replayed. I actually did something in a debut. I never do anything in debuts. New year. New me. Lightning Bobby Witt Jr. is him. 399 feet though. That's pretty nice. I'll take that. I was saying and the lineup screens, how in his moment it didn't really feel like the card had any pop. And he has some pop right there. Our 5th hit of the day gives us the first lead of the day. And it's 2-0 here in the 3rd, thanks to Lightning Bobby Witt Jr. in his debut, man. That's crazy. And then we strike out with Trout. Hey, at least it wasn't Bobby Witt. I did see, I've only seen Bobby Witt Jr. play in person one time, and that was when he was playing in the minor leagues. I was down in Arkansas. I got to see him play a minor league game, and he either hit 2 or maybe even 3 homers in one game. And I was there with my nephew and some of his friends, and my nephew's friend got at least 1, if not 2, of the home run balls from Bobby Witt Jr. I think they ended up getting his autograph after the game too. It was some pretty cool moments at a minor league game. And we strike out Christian Yelich. Look at Bobby! 95 speed! And he got him! Okay, like, I don't mean to get way overhyped because this is just ranked seasons, right? But Bobby's kind of going crazy in his debut. Already has a homer. He just made that diving play on somebody with 95 speed and still threw him out. I've been kind of looking for somebody at shortstop. You know, we had Mookie there. He's supercharged right now. I moved Mookie over to second base today to replace Corey Seager. I was kind of thinking about maybe splurging with my stubs on that new Ellie De La Cruz, but if Bobby Witt keeps playing like this, man, take a shot every time I say Bobby Witt in this video. But if he keeps playing like this, he might be locking down that shortstop position for the foreseeable future. He's kind of going crazy. And speaking of Bobby Witt Jr., I don't know what that really has to do with this, but I went to KFC earlier today, and they have some saucy nuggets. They got a few different flavors. And I'm definitely going to regret the flavor that I got tomorrow. I got some honey sriracha with my Crohn's. I don't really tolerate spicy food very well anymore. And I didn't expect them to be as spicy as they were. I was hoping they were a little bit more heavy on the honey than the sriracha. But I can already tell tomorrow's not going to be a fun day for certain parts of my body. But I was at KFC and I got some of the saucy nuggets. And I got some apple pie poppers. Okay, and when I was at the window, the dude was like, hey, we only have like this amount of the poppers, but you order this many. Would you be willing to wait like 3 or 4 minutes for the rest of them? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I don't really have anywhere to be. So he had me pull forward a little bit, and he said it was going to be 3 minutes, 30 seconds. That's what he told me. It ended up being like 10 minutes, which I didn't have anywhere to be, so it really wasn't a big deal. I was just listening to some music, enjoying the nice weather that we've been having here in Wisconsin after months and months of cold weather. And when the person finally brought my food out to me, they didn't really say anything. They just kind of walked up to my window, and there was another car in a parking spot, and they had 2 bags, and they were just holding up the bags, kind of staring at me. And I'm like, oh, I had the saucy nuggets and the apple pie poppers. And the person just says, the famous bowl? And I'm like, no, I didn't have a famous bowl. I had nuggets and the poppers. And they kind of stared at me for a few seconds. And then they just said, you had the famous bowl? No, I didn't have the famous bowl. I had the nuggets and the apple pie poppers. And then they didn't really say anything. And I was just like, since they had mentioned famous bowl a few times, then I kind of said, after just a little bit of silence that felt like minutes, I'm sure it was just a few seconds, but I said, oh, I think the nuggets might come in a bowl, kind of like the famous bowl, like maybe the same container. And then they say, you didn't have the famous bowl. And I'm like, no, I had some nuggets and an apple pie popper. And then they looked down in one of the bags, and the bag that they looked in, they just handed it to me without saying anything and walked off. And I looked in the bag, made sure it was my right food, and sure enough, it was the nuggets and the apple pie poppers. But I think that KFC worker might have been celebrating 420 a day early. And Pedro Martinez just gave up his first hit of the game. We don't want to give up our first runs of the game. And there's another strikeout for Pedro. How many is that? 7 for him in this game. His triple-digit fastball paired with that slow but that breaking a lot changeup, it's kind of a deadly combination. When I first used Pedro, I was really relying on his slider, and I was doing that quite a bit with the slider. But ever since I started mixing in that changeup more, I've been doing way better. And we have runners on the corners, the tying run at the plates. I would like a scoreless top of the 5th inning here. Gary Sanchez up to bat with 2 outs. And we're going to try to finish off Gary Sanchez. And we finished him! 5 scoreless for Pedro. And look who it is. Bobby Witt Jr. due up 3rd here in the 5th. I want to try to get some base runners. That's not a base runner. Back-to-back pitches, the first 2 pitches of the inning. And now Bobby's coming up, nobody on. 2 outs. Had a homer in his last AB. Let's see what he does here at bat number 3 on the day. Get down, please. For me. For me. It didn't get down. In a low-scoring game, I need Pedro to just keep pitching like this. 9 strikeouts going for double digits. And it's only the 6th inning. Oh, Trout. Trout catches this. Ooh. It's all part of the plan. Trust me. Trust the process. Trust the process. Trust the process. All part of the plan. I want to hit a little bit better. Sandy Alcantara, yeah, he gave up the homer, but this card's been tough for me to hit. On the 10th pitch of the at-bat to Trout, we just missed that one. No. Okay. The good news is we have a lead. That's really pretty much the only good news today besides Pedro Martinez. I mean, Bobby Witt's included in that lead with his homer. Then he had the diving play, but there's not been a lot happening. I want a little bit more excitement. Not while I'm pitching, while we're hitting. I want more excitement. Pedro Martinez has been my saving grace. In addition to obviously Bobby, but on the mound, he's just been holding it down. And there we go. 7 scoreless for Pedro. I'm not sure if I even want to go to the bullpen for inning number 8. We've got our 5, 6, 7 hitters due up here in the 7th. That means Bobby Witt's guaranteed at least 1 more AB. Let's try to make it happen here in the bottom of the 7th. That means we should be having a pretty good inning. And that's a pretty good start. Never mind. I thought I hit it way better. And Yelich, not going to be 3 for 3. His first ounce of the day. Wow. The last 2 innings at the plate have been real fast for me, and that's not a good thing. Bottom of the 8th, Bobby Witt's going to be due up 3rd. Potentially his final at-bat of the day. Pedro Martinez only at 74 pitches. I'm going to keep him in until he gives up a run. And so far, so good in the 8th for Pedro. 7 scoreless, about to be 8 scoreless, double-digit strikeouts. Yeah, I'm liking Pedro Martinez. And look at Bobby Witt Jr. I think he might be the only card in the game that could make that play. He's due up 3rd, bottom of the 8th, coming up, trying to get us some more insurance runs before we go for the complete game shutout with Pedro Martinez. And let's get some base runners for Bobby Witt Jr. Why not? It's not a double play. That's a decent swing. I like having good timing. PCI right there. Bobby Witt Jr. 1 for 3 on the day. Probably his final at bat of this game. I wasted it. At least he had a homer. That's honestly better than I do typically in debuts. And Babe grounds out after 8. It's 3-0. Freddie Freeman showing off his glove. Very next pitch, we get out number 2. And the 3-pitch inning to complete the shutout, complete game shutout for Pedro Martinez. The winning runs came from a Bobby Witt Jr. no doubt home run, and he might have saved the game with that diving play showing off his D. I hope y'all enjoyed that debut from the new Lightning Bobby Witt Jr. Feel free to drop a like if you did, subscribe for daily uploads, and I'm glad we were able to have some highlight moments from the new Lightning card here in a debut. For once, it feels good to actually do something. I'll see y'all next time. Hope you have a great rest of your day, great rest of your weekend. Thank you as always for watching.